Hey, Mr. Jordan.
Afternoon, Judge Mason. The SAP reset date is July the 9th.
Okay.
And just to let everybody know that position 10, we received 2 additional accusations for. So the second charge is criminal trespass, and the third charge is battery family violence. That's for position 10. So there's 3 charges now on that case.
So 2 counts of battery family violence.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we're ready to start. I think I see everybody. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and these cases have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. This is usually the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to handle matters such as bond, arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I want to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also begin by reminding the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to the assistance of counsel. You should know who your attorney is at this point in your case. Also, you have the right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, or the occurrences of your case can and will be used against you. Listen to your attorneys. The solicitors are here, and govern yourselves accordingly. All right, who do we have first, deputies?
Number 11,
Okay.
Mr. White.
All right. (24 CR 00403-0A), Derek White, charged with 1 count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Pretrial.
26, 2019 shoplifting, possession of marijuana, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, 2018 probation. Jail was the recommendation.
All right. State.
Sorry, good afternoon, Your Honor. Raquel Pope on behalf of the Solicitor General's office. This incident took place on officers responded to 2053 Stanton Road, East Point, Fulton County, Georgia, in reference to a suspicious person. Upon arrival, officers made contact with a Miss Young, who stated 2 black males were sitting in front of her property. She wanted both males criminal trespass from the property. As officers were asking for the name and date of birth to write the criminal trespass warning, the defendant refused to provide his name and date of birth and became combative with the officers, yelling, "Take me to jail," BITCHs. When the officer asked the defendant to put his hands behind his back, the defendant became physically combative with the officers and refused to comply. He was later identified as Derek White once he was taken to jail. The state's bond recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from 2053 Stanton Road, East Point, Georgia, 30334, and no further violent contact with officers.
Okay. PD Kim, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. White is 61 years old, retired, and actually he is receiving disability checks. We would like to consent to signature on bond through jail as he is recommended. So he graduated from high school and he does have a brain injury. And because of that disability, it just comes across a little bit different than other normal reaction. And he denies the allegation. He was just asking why. He has every right to do so, and that should not be taken as an obstruction. So that's all, Your Honor.
All right. And that's him in medical, right? Making sure I'm looking at the right screen.
Yes, this is him in medical.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to order a 2,500 signature bond through the jail. And I'm going to order him to stay away from 2353 Stanton Road. I'm going to also order no guns, no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol while on bond. I'm going to order him to have no further violent contact with the officers in the case. And I guess that's all I'll order at this point. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mhm.
Nothing further from the state.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 9, Miss Marcia Maricia Stevens. Position number 9.
All right, this is 24 CR 004028J. Maricia Stevens charged with 2 counts of simple battery, pretrial.
Third arrest, 2023 probation, 2020 simple battery conviction.
All right, state.
Your Honor, this incident took place at 921 Westmoreland Circle, Northwest, apartment 1101, Atlanta, Georgia. And officers responded to that location in reference to a family violence dispute. The victims, Ebony Harris and Terriana Telford, Ebony Harris being the mother of the defendant and Terriana Telford being her 17-year-old sister. Ms. Harris stated that her daughter began with a verbal disagreement that turned physical when the defendant pushed Ms. Harris, her mother, and punched Ms. Telford, her sister, when the sister intervened to stop the defendant from striking their mother. At some point during the course of the altercation or during the interview with the officers, the defendant admitted to being the primary aggressor by starting the physical altercation. I believe that her mother is on the call, and I would ask that at the end of it, that the court hear from her if she would like to be heard. The state's recommendation is UJR pretrial level 2, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, random alcohol screens. Stay away from the incident location, but no further violent contact with the victims. There is an allegation that she was intoxicated at the time of the incident and that she may have a substance abuse problem with drinking.
Okay. All right, do we have any of the victims on the Zoom call? Ebony Harris or Toretta Jones? I think I see someone signed on as Toretta Jones.
I'm Ebony
I
Harris.
see Ebony Harris. All right, we can barely see you, Miss Harris.
Okay, can you see me now?
A little bit. There's probably a glare. You're in a vehicle?
I am parked.
Okay, so I'm going to say make sure you're not driving.
Yes, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay. All right. Do you wish to briefly address the court, Miss Harris?
I do.
Okay, raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in first.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, thank you. Let me ask you this. Are you in fear? This is, I believe, your daughter, Maricia Stevens. Are you in fear of her?
No, I'm not in fear of her. I'm just in fear of the alcohol when she drinks.
Mm-hmm. So you want to continue to have contact with her?
Yes, I want to continue to have contact with her because she's my daughter, but she can't live with me.
Okay. She can't live with you, and she
No.
was presently living with you, correct?
Yes, she was presently staying at the apartment. Yes.
How old is she?
22. She'll be 23 July 28th.
Okay. All right. Any
And
cross-examination? Hold on. Yes.
I wanted to ask too, is there anywhere that you probably can have it to where she can get some type of help because she has an alcohol problem, and that's only when she turns violent is when she's drinking. She drinks heavily. I mean, very heavy.
Well, this is just a bond hearing. This is not a sentencing or disposition for her case ultimately. This is a bond hearing. So I'm just making sure
Okay.
she's going to come back to court and follow her case through to some extent and making sure that you and your other daughter are going to be safe. So I have one suggestion I may put in place, but let me hear from her attorney before I make my ruling, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, PD Kim. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, but
I apologize. I
oh,
forgot
okay.
that
Okay.
it was mute. But anyway, Miss Stevens is actually also enrolled at university. She graduated from Valdosta State University. She is pursuing master's degree for criminal justice and elementary education, and she denies the allegation. And we also deny false accusation of substance abuse because there is no evidence, and I don't want my client to have any prejudice against her, especially she is the planning to be a teacher, elementary education, and it is very important for her career not to have that stigma. We would like to request for a signature on bond pretrial level 1, and no further violent contact is okay with us. Thank you.
All right, I will order a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. That's $2,000 on each of the battery charges for a total of $4,000. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond. And I would order her to go to AA meetings, but I don't know that I have enough evidence of it. But I would hope that Ms. Stevens, if that is true, and I know these are allegations at this point, that she would go get some help for herself voluntarily, especially if she's going to be a teacher. Concerned about that career choice that she's pursuing with the allegations that we've heard. So she will be pretrial, I guess, level 2. I'm going to order her to take a 2-day anger awareness course through pretrial. And I'm going to order, I know this happened on June 20th, so I'm going to order her to stay away from 921 Westmoreland Circle. She needs to find somewhere else to live while she's on bond. And I'm trying to think about the contact with the victims, whether it should be no further violent contact or no further contact at all. Those the state recommending.
No further violent contact. In our communication with the victims, they are okay with contact. Just the stay away was requested to be put in place.
Okay. And no further violent contact with the victims, Ebony Harris and Toretta Jones. That's all I'll order at this time. But you verbally heard me, Miss Stevens, to get some help, or at very least go to some AA meetings. I won't put it in the order, but I'm cautioning you to do that.
Okay, and about my hold too.
Please do not say anything. You have every right to remain silent, Miss Stevens. If you want to say anything definitely related to bond things, just I'll be very, very careful not to mention anything about the facts of the case.
Oh no, I'm talking about my hold.
I don't know. We know about a hold.
You are
Pretrial, does she have a hold from another county?
Oh, actually, she
I'm
believes
not
that
sure.
Atlanta Police Department put a warrant out there for failure to appear, and she is at City of Atlanta, and she does not understand why she has a foreign county hold when she is inside of the Fulton County, which
Well,
is
she's at the city jail, so they should clear it before she leave, I guess.
Mhm.
who are they to clear? Who's going to be clearing a city jail issue, Your Honor?
I
I
have
mean-
no idea.
You said she had an FTA from the city of Atlanta?
That's what she was told. So
Well,
that's what she wants to verify and clarify.
people who FTA out of the city, that's usually ACDC. So I don't know. They'll figure it out. It's Friday.
One more thing, Your Honor, she needs a one-time escort to get her belongings.
All right, I will add that to the order, Mr. Jordan, a one-time law enforcement escort. And so, Ms. Stevens, do not go back to that property alone. When you are released, you need to schedule with the police department to escort you to that property to get your belongings. If you go back without it, you're subject to be rearrested. Okay,
Your
I
Honor,
will allow that.
I would like to clarify one thing though. So they only had one case. Now they are having two different charges. So there was an additional charge they added, the solicitor office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 counts of simple battery. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. The warrant
yes,
came in
both.
with both victims listed in one count, so I added a simple battery for one for each of the victims.
Right.
Got it.
Now that second victim, I'm getting a message in the chat. Toretta Jones is not that second victim.
She is not as Terriana Telford.
Oh,
is
it
the
was
second
it was a similar name. I'm sorry. Terriana
Telford.
Telford. Okay.
TELFORD.
Thank you. I think I did say that name incorrectly.
Kim, you might want to call ACDC after court
Sure.
since she's already there and call their records department and ask about it.
Okay.
All right.
Do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at what level was that?
Level 2.
Oh, the only other thing, Your Honor, I was asking for random alcohol screenings. Is that possible to be added as a condition?
Pretrial, can you add the random screens?
It's up to you.
I'll add those then.
Your Honor, can we have just one time? Then level 1, she goes to school and also she has a job at DHL and meat packaging company to make a living. Can she do either telephonically or virtually if she has to do 2 times? 2 times in person will be very, very challenging for her.
I think her mother is trying to say something as well. Pretrial, I guess you're gonna tell me whatever I order.
Yep.
I guess I will let them be virtual or call-ins rather.
Thank you.
And one last thing, Ms. Harris.
Yes. Let me make a correction here, and we're gonna be honest about this because she needs help. She was in school. She's no longer in school, and she is not working. She was working at DHL. She does not have a job, and she's not in school.
It's irrelevant. But actually, I would like to object to that. I want to go by with what
I'm not sure if it's irrelevant. It is PD Kim is very relevant to the Ayala factors that I look at. I always ask, are they working? Do they have a job? What they're doing? Because I don't want to slightly disrupt it, but it's relevant.
Yes.
And if she's not doing it, she can report in, right?
She can report in.
Well, I will go by what my client told me. She knows her life better than her mom. Her mom
Oh no, I think I believe the mom sometimes because they come to court and they tell me exactly what's going on. So mom, she's not in school and she's not working. Is that correct?
She is not in school and she is not working. That is correct.
And you're telling me that under oath, right?
I'm telling you that under oath. She was in school. She did attend Valdosta State University. She has not been in school for about probably 2 years now. And DHL, she had a job. You guys can call to verify, but she's no longer working with DHL.
Okay. And she's not working on her master's right now to be a teacher?
She's not working on anything school related at this time.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna change it. I'm just gonna leave it level 2, but she needs to report in person. And, Mr. Jordan, I don't do this quite often, but I'm gonna add it to my order that she attend AA meetings at least twice a week. Because I would like to order more, but I won't, and the cost, I don't know who would pay for it. AA meetings are free. Okay, just need a sponsor, go for free, twice a week. You need to sign up as soon as you get out. And I think that will do it. And you've got to take the 2-day anger awareness course. Might need a little bit of that. All right, that's the end of my order.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Next, we can go to position number 6, Mrs. Shepherd.
All right, this is 24 CR 004032D. Think that is Licia Shepherd charged with 1 count of harassing communications, 2nd count of stalking. Pre-trial.
So fourth arrest, she got an open ag assault, simple battery, 23 SC 191-825. That's it.
Okay, state. Oh, hold on a second. Is this the case that Mr. Ty, PD Ty has not been able to interview yet? Or have you?
I just spoke with her, Your Honor.
Oh, great. Okay. I thought I was moving too fast. I just saw your chat. Thank you. All right, go ahead, State.
Okay. On December 1st, APT responded to 3275 Landings North Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30331 in Fulton County. The officer spoke to the victim, Ray Meyer Boyd, who advised that the defendant has been harassing her for a while. Just as a backstory, the victim has obtained or had obtained a TPO against the defendant in May 2023, which was active for 1 year. This incident happened on December 1st, 2023. In January of 2024, the TPO was renewed and is active until January 15th, 2027. So for an additional 3 years. Specifically on this incident, the victim advised that the defendant had been sending her repeatedly calling, messaging, using social media accounts, as well as voice recordings with threatening messages. The officer did have an opportunity to view screenshots of the messages and hear the threatening messages. The victim and the defendant, or the victim was dating the defendant's child's father. And in the aggravated assault case and simple battery, the child's father is the victim in that case. The victim in December was pregnant with Mr. Eaton, the child's father, and she was fearful because of the continued harassment. For this reason, the state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ray Meyer Boyd, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Stay away from 3275 Landings North Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30331. And it can be $2,500 per count on the harassing communications and $2,500 on the stalking. And that is a surety bond that the state is requesting.
All right, thank you. PD Ty?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 36 years old. She has lived in Georgia for 4 years. She is the mother to 3 children, 19, 13, and 2 years old. Her youngest 2-year-old is autistic and nonverbal and requires round-the-clock care and supervision. My client does work, and she's worked for the last 8 years as a nurse. On top of working full-time, her daughter has therapy sessions. Her 2-year-old autistic daughter also has a surgery coming up this Tuesday. She firmly denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. And as far as the open case with the father of her children, she denies those allegations. It is an open case. She's presumed to be innocent of those charges. In this case, when when the police were, I guess, interviewing her about this this alleged harassing communications, she told them, she offered for the officers to look in her phone, to look in her social media accounts, to pull her phone records even and see. She states that any evidence that was presented, to back up this warrant was completely falsified. And she's never had any communication with this person, and she doesn't have her phone number. She's blocked her on social media. So in this case, I would ask for a signature bond, and it can be through pretrial services. I would like it at level 1. She's recommended at level 2, but I think with everything she has going on with the 3 children and the one 2-year-old who needs round-the-clock care and has a surgery coming up, I would ask for that signature bond to be either through the jail or pretrial services at level 1. Of course, no further contact and stay away. She says she hasn't ever had contact with this person, although other than when she shows up to court hearings for her own children with the father of those children. And Your Honor, also this alleged incident date is 6 months ago. Nothing further.
Yes, my only question, PD Atai, would be, there's TPOs in place, so there had to been some evidence in order to grant 2 TPOs. Something going on. I mean, it's not always that easy to get a TPO. And then there's one in place now until 2027.
That's correct.
So I don't know, with no evidence, not knowing the person, never making a call, it makes me wonder how 2 TPOs could have been secured if there's no evidence.
Well, Your Honor, I don't think it's
Not to
that
go deep
difficult
into those
to get it.
facts.
Yeah, I don't think it's very difficult to get a TPO.
They deny them daily.
And my client has asked to have her phone records pulled. I don't know what more she can do to have her social media accounts investigated.
Yes, please, 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 please.
I do have some concerns here.
Ms. Boyd is also on. I'm sorry. Ms. Boyd is also on
is she?
the call today. She is.
Oh, thank you. ASG Pope, for bringing that to my attention. Let's see. Miss Boyd, Mr. Boyd, I'm sorry.
Miss Boyd, I'm sorry, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay. Do you wish to address the court, Miss Boyd?
Yes, I do have.
Hold on a second. I'm going to swear you in first. Raise your right hand for me. Are you in the hospital?
I am, Your Honor.
Usually I don't talk to people who are driving cars and in the hospital. Is your condition okay? Appreciate you signing on, but I certainly don't want to cause any undue stress or anything because you are in the hospital. Are you okay to do this for a few minutes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Put your hand down. Is that the defendant talking or someone else? All right. Let me ask you 2 questions. Are you in fear of Miss Shepherd?
Yes.
And do you want to have any more contact with Miss Shepherd?
No, I never wanted contact.
We never had contact. The incident happened when me and my daughter. That's why they gave her.
Hold on. Miss Shepherd, we've not asked you to speak and you do not have the floor to speak. I'm talking to the victim right now, Miss Boyd. So please, no more outbursts.
Sorry, it just went on live and it's irritating.
No, this is not a trial, and I'm not going to have a hearing regarding the TPOs that have been entered and that are present in this matter. But I'm not going to dive deep into those facts. But I do have a duty to, as the court, to protect the witness and make sure that the victim rather is going to be safe and free from any harm that may come to her as a result of this case. So I do have a duty for that.
Your Honor, you asked about the TPO. Me and my daughter's father.
I didn't ask about the TPO. I didn't ask you anything. Can you all mute Ms. Shepherd, please? Didn't ask you anything about the TPO. I made a comment about it. And I made a comment to your attorney. And so let your attorney speak for you, because I imagine if you say too much, it's not going to be in your best interest to talk about it. But PD Atai, I understand there was a TPO May of 2023, then there's a new one that started in January 2024 till 2027. And the state confirmed that.
Yes, Your Honor.
The state did confirm. I have a copy of both of the TPOs.
All right, just making sure. And so even with those TPOs, you still have fear, Ms. Boyd?
Yes, Your Honor. She has came to my house, drove her car through my garage. I have it on camera. She's came to my house with a gun. She almost hit my children with a car. Where I live at, there's a bunch of older retired people. They are all willing to testify because she's been causing issues in my neighborhood since 2021, I think. The father of her daughter, me and him had relations. Recently, the most recent contact is because basically last year I found out that he is basically a pedophile. I kicked him out of my house. He's been and I have recordings and cameras everywhere in my house.
Okay.
He
I
left
wanna
my
stick-
house,
I
went
wanna-
to
I
her.
wanna-
I
I
am
want to stick to Ms. Shepherd, not anything. And I
Yes.
don't really want to hear many more of the facts. I think I have a good feeling of it.
The
Because
reason
again-
she's been harassing me recently is because he went back to her, and I have the messages. She's basically thinks she stole him from me, which is not the case. I kicked
Okay.
him out of my house, so that's why that's the most recent. And I also
Okay.
have a recording of her January 15th, where he also stole some things out of my house when he left, and I called him to get it back, and she takes the phone from him and starts calling me stalker and all sorts of stuff. When I said nothing to her, I'm asking him for my money and my belongings back. Which I
Okay.
have a
I'm
recording
gonna
of that.
I'm gonna stop you there because that's a whole different matter. I'm just looking to make sure you're gonna be safe, and I do get it. Let me go ahead and give the ruling. And so I'm going to order the $5,000 surety bond. And with that surety bond, I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns. Miss Shepherd, if you have any guns, I need you to turn them over immediately to the sheriff's department. Because you're not to have any guns on your person, or in and around you. Or
Your
if
Honor,
you own any guns, turn them in. Yes, ma'am.
I'm very sorry. I would just ask that you reconsider the surety bond. She has her 19-year-old daughter right now taking care of her 13 and 2-year-olds. Her 2-year-old has a surgery scheduled for her eye to save her eyesight this Tuesday.
I'm
She
very
has a
sensitive.
$5,000 surety bond. She might not be able to get out to be able to take care of her children. And then there's a 19-year-old in charge of a surgery, a major surgery, and 2 children, one of whom is disabled.
I'm so sorry about that, and I'm very
And she is
sensitive to it,
and she
but
is
I don't like the
recommended.
other facts. I understand, but this is going to be my ruling if you let me finish my ruling. And then you don't like it, that's fine, but I'm very concerned about the safety of the victim here and want to make sure that this is over with. This has been going on for years.
But Your
And
Honor,
at
this
some
incident-
point, yeah, I
it
know,
was
at some point it's got to
6
stop.
months ago. This was 6 months ago, Your Honor.
Well, but the victim stated that it's been other little things recently. So I just
think
want to make sure
if
that
she
it
ran
stops.
into a building with a car, there would be a warrant for that.
Maybe that's why the TPO is in there for 2 or 3 years. I
For
don't
running
know.
into a building with a car and then the state just a TPO and not a warrant? I mean, these aren't facts that she's saying. Where's the warrant for it? You can't run into a building with a car and there's no
She said it's on recording.
evidence of that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that fact either. I'm not getting into that. I just want to make sure that it's over and that this, if it's 10%, that's only $500. So, I am going to continue to order the surety bond because I want to make sure that Ms. Shepherd understands this is a serious matter and it all needs to be over. The unfortunate part is that they have children in common And hopefully they'll eventually be able to co-parent and get along and act like adults and stop all the pettiness in front of children.
They
And
don't
so
have
that
children in
that's,
common.
well, he has the husband or the boyfriend or
not-
what, he has
that-
children by both of these women, correct?
They're
Am I
both
wrong?
not, they're not, no, they're both not with him. They have no reason to be around each other or see each other. Nobody's with
No, no,
him.
no, 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 no. Hold on a second, Miss Pope and Miss Boyd, are you still there? I
Yes,
think
Your Honor.
Miss Boyd has a child by Mr. What is his name?
No, I actually got an abortion when I found out he's a pedophile.
Your Honor,
About
this is
I have the
incredible.
paperwork and the
And
recordings
Ms.
of
Boyd,
Hold
everything.
on,
Your
hold on,
Honor, I
Miss
would just
Boyd.
ask that the victim, we would ask, based on the facts in the warrant, based on the charges, based on the continued contact, the state would renew its request for the $5,000 surety bond on this case in alignment with what the court was just announcing.
Okay.
So Miss Boyd does not have a child by the husband of Miss Shepherd, is that
It
correct?
was not husband, but it was her child's, Ms. Shepherd's child's father.
There is
She was
no
pregnant
time.
at the time that this happened, and it sounds like that's been terminated.
Okay, okay.
Your Honor, in light of that, I would ask you to please give my client the signature bond through level 2. She is
No.
recommended. This happened 6 months ago, more than 6 months ago.
And she was just
She has
arrested
absolutely
recently.
no reason. And the things that the complaining witness is saying are incredible.
And I would just remind the court that there was a TPO in effect at the time of the messages. The officer was able to hear the messages as well as view the screenshots that were provided.
All right, and then there was a second TPO that was renewed.
That's
All right,
correct.
I'm going to continue with the $5,000 surety bond. That is going to be the order of the court: no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons or guns while on bond. And that's it. And then I'm sorry, a stay away from this 32 Landings. Whose address is that?
I don't even know who dress that is.
That's my house, Your Honor.
Okay,
It's the victim, yes.
stay away. Okay, stay away from that address. No further contact with the victim, Ramira Boyd. What I don't want to do is to give an order that contradicts the TPO. And I want to make sure that there is a stay away and no further contact with the victim. No phone calls, stay 200 yards away from her, no emails, no contact by third parties. All of that will be in the bond order. And I'm finished with this matter. No, I'm finished. This is it. That's the ruling of the court.
Through social media and making accounts. So can I get something?
No social media, none of that. That'll all be in the order.
Social media. I have her blocked for over a year.
Okay, I'm done. I'm finished. That's the order of the court. Thank you.
Donna, is the stalking charge,
I'm sorry. Oh, is the stalking? No, I thought it was 2,500 each, the two charges, harassing communications and the stalking.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, there's no NOD to my knowledge.
The stalking was actually added. There is no.
Stalking was added. Okay. Thank you.
We can go to position number 2, Mr. Franklin.
I thought he bonded out.
Yeah, I did say that. 2 bonded out, was in the notes.
He doesn't need a bond hearing, Judge. Someone already posted a bond for him.
Someone already posted it.
Right. Hold on a
Were you
second.
aware of that, Deputy?
No, Your Honor.
It
So Franklin,
was,
bond posted.
Cagle bond, bail bonds.
So Marlon Franklin. Marlon Franklin has been posted, correct?
Correct.
Yes, it was posted through Cagle bail bonds.
Okay. Let me see. We could go to position number 1, Mr. Allen.
All right. 24 CR 004027C Gregory Allen, 1 count of simple battery family violence pretrial.
20. 2023 suspended license, 2021 possession of cocaine with intent, possession of drug-related objects. I didn't see any violent arrests.
All right. State.
Your Honor, this incident occurred on the 19th at 57 Hardwick Street Southeast in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Eugenia Harris. She stated that she and her roommate were arguing when he pushed her down and kicked her. The officers did not see any injuries to the victim. However, the defendant in this case had multiple injuries. This is a dual arrest case, Judge. The cross defendant was on yesterday's SDA calendar, and Judge Law said that she could stay in the residence because I guess she owns that. And he does have history, Your Honor, but this is his first violent arrest. So the state would be recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with the victim, Eugenia Harris, a stay away from the incident location, a one-day anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. And we have not been in touch with this victim, but we'd sound for Eugenia Harris if she's on the line.
All right, Eugenia Harris. I don't think, let's see anyone with that name. All right, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As the state has stated, my client does not have any violent arrest. The warrant also clearly states that my client had injuries to him and the alleged victim did not. According to the police officer's statement, he arrested both of them because he was unable to determine who was the primary aggressor. My client definitely denies that he was the aggressor in any of this. This is where he lives. His name is on the lease, he tells me, and he lives there. He would prefer no further violent contact, Your Honor, because he does not have anywhere else to go at this time. I am sorry that they did not get taken on at the same time because we would have been able to better hash out the living arrangements. But I will say, if the court decides that he cannot live there, he is going to need some time to get his belongings from the house. And a one-time police escort perhaps is not enough because he has major things, furniture and so on, that would need moving. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration in whatever order that the court issues with respect to conditions of his bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'll just say that the Judge Law obviously expected this defendant to be on yesterday's calendar and ordered him to stay away. And she's already allowed the cross defendant to be in the residence and ordered the cross defendant to have no further contact. So we can't have contradictive, even if he has a no further violent contact, she still has a no further contact.
Yeah. Ms. McLeod, that ties my hands a little bit. I don't want to be contradictory to the other dual case.
I understand, Your Honor, but he is going to need more than 2 or 3 hours because he has substantial amount of belongings that he needs to remove. And that is probably my primary concern.
Okay. Well, I can put that in the order so that the marshals or the sheriff will see that. Although sometimes they don't pay it any attention. So he's going to need to do the best he can. We'll try to order that so that they will be able to read it and see it and maybe give you 2 separate days, 2 hours each day, because I know they don't like to stay out there for 4 or 5 hours.
I understand, Your Honor.
And he's going to have to be ready with his truck or whatever he needs and some help to get it quickly, because even though I may order it, if they get calls and have to go or leave to go somewhere, they're going to do that and they're going to tell you to leave. So I'll do the best I can. Well, he has no violent history. I'm okay.
It's not, Your Honor.
Right, with the signature bond. How old is he?
63, Your Honor.
Okay, and I don't know that I hear, you may have told me, is he working, not working, or?
He is retired.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, your attorney's doing a great job speaking for you.
Okay.
Let her do her job, okay? All right. So I have to order, I'm going to order the signature bond, and I'll make that 3,500 signature bond through pretrial.
Ronna, could it be through the jail? He really has no violent history.
I'll do it through the jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, through the jail. Stay away from that 57 Hardwick Lane, and no further contact with the victim Eugenia Harris. I will order 2 returns to the property to retrieve personal property, so that maybe with the 2 returns at 2 hours, they can do that, rather than stay in the time at 4 or 5. No drugs, alcohol, guns, or weapons while on bond. And I think that's it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you.
What's that amount?
3,500.
3,500.
So what does that mean?
We could go to position number 3, Mr. Norris Henry.
Okay. 24 CR 004033Y. Norris Henry charged with 1 count of battery family violence, 2nd count of cruelty to children in 3rd degree, and a 3rd count of criminal trespass. Pre-trial.
This is 4th adult arrest. He got an open battery DV cruelty in a 3rd out of state court. It's 23 CR 008017Y. 2021 battery.
All right. State.
Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 496 Lindsay Street, Northwest, Apartment 4 in Atlanta. Officers responded to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, they made contact with the victim, Aaliyah Holder. She advised that her son's father came over. They started arguing. She locked herself in the bedroom because he wouldn't leave her alone. He kicked down the door. Their infant child subsequently woke up from the commotion, so she picked him up. And while she was holding the child, he grabbed her legs and flipped her so that she would fall and was punching her legs. The officer observed a bruise to the victim's leg. The defendant also punched a hole in the victim's wall, threw several items all over her residence, and broke their child's nose pump. Like pretrial said, he does have an open battery case. It is the same victim, and there's also a cruelty charge associated with that case. It's the same child. The previous bond order from that case, Your Honor, was a no further violent contact with the victim. He was supposed to take 5 anger management lessons. He was given a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. He also has an open battery case in Clayton County involving this victim. We have been in touch with her. She states that they're not in a relationship. They don't live together, but they do have a child together. She said the incident location is her residence. There are 2 open cases. She states, notably, that while the defendant's been ordered not to have any violent contact with her since, she said there has been violence. She just has not called the police until this incident. She states she's in fear and does not want any contact and wants him to stay away from her residence. Your Honor, this state, obviously with his record, this is his 3rd case involving the same victims. I understand the cruelty to children charge, the child wasn't injured in this case. However, the mother was holding the child and he flipped her legs out from underneath her. So that's seriously concerning. The state is asking for a $2,500 cash bond on the battery, a $1,000 cash bond on the cruelty, and a $500 cash bond on the criminal trespass. Total, that would be a $4,000 cash bond. If Your Honor is not inclined to award a cash bond in this case, then I'd ask for a surety bond in the amount of at least $7,500, $5,000 good bond on the battery, $1,000 on the cruelty, and $500 on the criminal trespass. No further contact with either victim. Stay away from the incident location. Family violence intervention program. I know Your Honor typically doesn't order that at a bond hearing, but this is the 3rd case, so I think it may be warranted. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. And if we could sound for Miss Aaliyah Holder.
All right, Aaliyah Holder. Don't think we have this holder on. All right. And that's, all right, go ahead, PD.
Your Honor, my client is 27 years old. He's lived in Atlanta his entire life. We have no objection to no further contact or stay away. We would object to a signature bond, excuse me, to a cash bond. We would also want to put in place a third-party transfer so he could have visitation with his child.
All right. That's it, Mr. Cook.
That's it.
Okay.
Is the child the victim? I'm sorry, Ms. Desley. The child is the victim in the cruelty to children in the third on each of these cases.
He is.
Yeah,
And Your Honor, again, we're
court would
asking
ask
for
for-
no further contact at all.
right. I wouldn't order any visitation with the child at
Yeah.
all. Because the child, like you say, is the victim. So thanks for that. All right, I'm ready to rule. I'm sorry, you have an attorney, Mr. Henry. PD Cook is doing an excellent job. Nope, you have an attorney. And I'm not going to allow that today. You can save that for later or talk to your attorney. All right. I have 3 cases here, same victim, children. So I'm going to order the $4,000 cash bond because obviously Mr. Henry doesn't get it. And that will be, I think your breakdown was 2,500 cash on the battery, 1,000 cash on the cruelty, and 500 cash on the criminal trespass.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to order to stay away from 496 Lindsay Street. I'm going to order no further contact with the Leah holder. And obviously, again, Mr. Henry doesn't get that. No further contact. Not by social media, not by phone. Stay 200 yards away from her. And that also no further contact includes the child. I don't remember the initials. Or did we give it?
GH.
GH. All right. No further contact with that child. Certainly not going to order visitation. Obviously, you don't respect the mother. So from these allegations, you don't respect the child either. And I don't think you need to have any visitation with this child.
That's not true. I'm an active father in my son's life, and I'm actually present, hands-on, and I do provide. I'm talking about for his mother and my child, Your Honor.
Well, you should do that, but right now I think we need to make sure this last incident just happened on the 20th, right?
And today's his birthday, and I'm supposed to start my new job today, and it's not all how it painted the scene. It never is. But of course, as being a Black man in America, you know how it's gonna look. I understand how it's sounding, but I swear I'm not the monster and everything is not true.
Okay, well, you can argue that in court. You can argue that in court. This is not your trial. This is not a trial. This is your bond hearing. And right now, I don't feel like you need to be out on bond, especially because you're not going to go to a birthday party tomorrow because I've ordered you to have no contact with them. So you won't do that. We're not going to have that. We're going to make sure that you're going to calm this all down like you say you are. And we're not going to have any more arrests for incidents with you and the mother, because that affects the child as well. So whether you're hands-on or not, I sense that there's some other issues going on here with the mother that you need to get a handle on, because they're a direct reflection on your son who's recording and watching and seeing all this. And hopefully he will act a lot better towards females or women. So no visitation, no contact with that child. I'm inclined to order FVIP, but I'm assuming that he had it before, but maybe not. State he's never been ordered.
He's never pled to any of his cases yet, Your Honor. They're all open.
All right. But I don't know if he'll be able to start them or do them. And, you know, if I ordered it at this time, how would that happen? I guess if he ever makes bond, he would have to start them then.
Mhm.
All right. I will order him to take a FVIP course. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. If you own any guns, Mr. Henry, you need to turn them in to the marshals of the sheriff's department immediately upon making bond. You cannot have any weapons on your person. And I think that's it with the cash bond. All right, counsel, that's it.
Your Honor, what was the breakdown again for the cash bond?
All right, 1,000 on the battery. I'm sorry, 2,500 on the battery, 1,000 on the cruelty, and 500 on the criminal trespass.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we're gonna go to position number 8, Mr. Eric Smith.
Okay. This is 24 CR 004026A, Eric Smith, charge of 1 count of theft by conversion. Retrial.
23 total. 2023 probation. Yeah, he said E. Smith. On probation out of Coweta County, possession of meth. Also for theft by taking and entering auto. 2017 forgery and a 4th degree conviction. 2017 FTA.
All right. Date.
Your Honor, this was an incident that happened on June 20th, 2024. Officers responded to the Quick Trip gas station located at 630 10th Street Northwest in response to a located stolen vehicle. Sergeant Young received a stolen vehicle hit notification on his in-car tag reader, and it was confirmed by dispatch. Officer Young contacted the victim, JSH Enterprises LLC, who indicated that the defendant rented a vehicle on 6/14/2024. It was due to be returned on 6/15/2024. The defendant failed to return the vehicle. Multiple attempts were made to contact Mr. Smith unsuccessfully, and ultimately, Mr. Smith blocked the number of the owner. There was one other conviction in 2009, carrying a concealed weapon by a convicted felon, as well as a theft by shoplifting. There is a 2020 assault and battery 3rd degree pending charge, or what appears to be a pending charge in South Carolina. And there's a 2019 theft by receiving stolen property felony out of Georgia. The state is concerned about Mr. Smith's theft history. For that reason, the state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond. No further contact with JSH Enterprises LLC. You're on mute.
Is this your case, PD Cook?
It's mine, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. PD Atai.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 36 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He is the father, a single father to a 14-year-old child, and also has a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. He does work 2 jobs, one at Checkers, and then one job is this job. It's not that he rented a truck. He drives and sells ice cream for Frosty Treats. So this was his second job, Your Honor. And the way the job is set up, it's not like he paid to rent a truck. You kind of pay a fee to use the truck, pick up the ice cream, sell it. And he tells me that, so he's like an employee and a driver and a salesperson for Frosty Treats. And he stated that their Northside Drive location, where they keep all of the vans, has recently been shut down. And the person who's running or managing all these ice cream trucks is running it from his personal apartment complex. And because of that, requested that the drivers, to minimize the amount of ice cream trucks that are parked on, I guess, in an apartment complex parking lot, to take those trucks. So my client, his truck is there at the apartment complex where the person who is managing the ice cream trucks is running the business from. And, he left his truck there and took the ice cream truck. And he states that he does have documentation and text messages to show that he can keep the ice cream truck overnight as part of operating this business. It seems like a civil matter to me, Your Honor. I don't think there's any theft here. He does deny those allegations. And he is in touch. I couldn't get in touch with a complaining witness. I don't know who would be at Frosty Treats. But his truck is there. So he would, I don't know if there's a stay away from this LLC, but he would need, I guess, a law enforcement escort to go pick up his truck that's there. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. In this case, I would ask, Your Honor, for a signature bond through pretrial services as he is recommended, and nothing further.
So make sure I understand, the allegation is that he stole or didn't return the ice cream truck that he works with or works in. And he has a personal truck that he leaves there, goes out with the ice cream truck, then brings it back. And that's what you're saying?
I don't know what the allegation is. The allegation is theft by conversion.
But he kept the ice cream truck or didn't return the ice cream truck?
He wasn't supposed, they didn't want him to return the ice cream truck because they can't have, 10 or however many ice cream trucks parked at the apartment complex. So to do in cooperation.
Hold on, Mr. Smith, please be quiet.
So in doing something in cooperation with this LLC, which I guess they've lost their location on Northside Drive and are trying to somehow run their business from a location that you're not allowed to run commercial business out of there. He has his truck there in exchange for the ice cream truck.
Right.
Your Honor, while I appreciate the defendant's rendition, that is not what the warrant states. The warrant states that there were several attempts to get the truck back, and ultimately that this defendant blocked the owner from contacting him. He was supposed to return it on 6/15.
And that's completely false. No one can know whether they've been.
Hold on a second.
No one can know.
All I can tell you is what was reported. This was reported as a stolen vehicle.
Okay.
That's how that's what came back when the tag was run, and they were able to confirm it by the owner. So certainly we can give him a trial at the appropriate time, and any evidence and mitigation that he has can be considered. But for the purpose of today's hearing, the warrant states what it states. The court has had an opportunity to hear what the defendant said, and we would ask that the court in our request is a surety bond because of his extensive theft history.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I would just ask for a signature bond through pretrial services so he can get back to his 14-year-old child that he is a single parent for. And because of the nature of the allegations here, and even if the warrant states that someone's saying they've been blocked from a phone, no one can know from looking at a phone whether someone on the other end has blocked you or not. And my client denies that he's blocked any phone numbers on his phone.
Just as a response, but you can know when it goes directly to voicemail that it's no longer going through to that person.
That's not what that means.
Okay.
May I say anything?
You don't need to say anything. You don't need to say anything, Mr. Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, be careful. I'm going to order a $2,500 $1,500 surety bond. His history is so extensive. Some drug charges, and I think we had one or two other theft charges. State.
A 2021 theft by taking and entering auto, a 2017 forgery in the 4th degree, and a theft by shoplifting, although that was older, back in 2009. So there are at least 2 more recent theft charges within the last 10 years.
2017 is also 7 years ago.
Okay, I said within the last 10 years, which was what the state's consideration was. So I was excusing the one from 2009 because it's outside of the 10 years. Within the last 10, those are his theft charges.
Right. Well, I'm going to order the $1,500 surety bond because of that. I understand he's working and he's a single dad. He's got to maybe do a little better with some of these business partners, and there's history there. I want to make sure that he is going to return. That's a minimal bond, and also, I don't know if the truck is there or not there. 1,500, I mean, the truck probably costs more than 1,500, but I'm going to order the $1,500 surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond, and a stay away from, I guess, that location. I think they said this is a QT, the 630. Is that a QT location?
What
It was a
about my
Q2.
car, ma'am?
The location where the hit for the stolen property was in Fulton County at a QT. I believe the JSH Enterprises
Right.
was confirmed through DeKalb County
It's been a
auto theft.
complex where my car is at.
Mr. Smith,
No, I was just asking when I'll be able to get my car from this apartment complex without any problems.
but I don't know what that address is.
I have the address.
Well, if I haven't ordered that you couldn't, and I don't even have that address as being the incident location.
Correct. Okay.
So there's nothing preventing you from going to get your car from somewhere once you bond out.
Yeah, but you told me to stay away from the victim and the
Well, you'd have no further contact with the victim, yes. So if you go there and you see the victim, which is Mr. Tell me that again, ASG Folk.
It's JSH Enterprises LLC.
The victim stays at that address.
Oh, well, I guess you will have to be careful because you'd have no further contact with him. But if you go there to get your vehicle and he comes out, then I don't know, maybe you need to call police for protection. But I'm not going to order you to go there, I guess, for one purpose, maybe to get your car. I don't know if I should do that.
Yeah, my car is parked where the ice cream trucks would normally be parked.
The state doesn't oppose a one-time return to retrieve his car.
Okay, well, let's order it that way. A one-time return to the location. Can we put that location in the order, ASG Pope?
I don't have the location. I can get it for the court.
Okay. Mr. Smith, can you tell us the address? Do you know it by heart?
You say, excuse me? No, everything is in my phone, and even the documentation.
Okay, you don't have the address. Okay. All right, well, let's put it this way in the order, Mr. Jordan, put that the defendant can have a one-time law enforcement escort return, not by yourself. Got to coordinate it with law enforcement to return to the location of JS Enterprises to retrieve his personal vehicle only, and a one-time escort for that. But otherwise, he's to stay away from the location where this business is ran, as well as no further contact with the victim in the case. And that should do it. All right, thank you.
Next, Your Honor, I'm going to go to position number 7, Mr. Sims.
This is 24 CR 004025F, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Pretrial?
61. Last arrest was trespass. That was this year. 2024 possession of drug-related objects. NOLO. 2023 probation. 2022 trespass conviction. 2020, let me see, 2019, 2020, 2021 probation violations. I stopped there.
All right. Okay.
This incident took place on yesterday, 6/20/2024. The defendant entered through an unauthorized location or entered through an unauthorized door by entering into the emergency stairwell of the Peachtree Center station, even after knowing and seeing multiple no trespass signs located throughout the stairwell. Officers located Mr. Sims sleeping inside of the stairwell halls of the property where multiple signs state do not enter. Although the defendant has an extensive history, the state is recommending a secure judicial release through the jail. Stay away from 216 Peachtree Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. And it is the state's understanding that the defendant is unhoused.
Okay. PD Atai?
No objection.
Okay. I will order a $1,000 UJR SOB jail. Stay away from the Peachtree Center Station. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I think that's it.
And your honor, positions 4, positions 5, and positions 10, those are all waivers.
Okay. 4, 5, and 10. You have those, Mr. Jordan?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Good, okay. All right, let's start with 4. This is 24 CR 004034H. Is it Janelle McKinnis, charged with 2 counts of battery and 1 count of simple battery? Pre-trial?
28 cycles. Last arrest was on the 12th of this month for possession of drug-related objects. Got an open criminal damage to property as well. Tampering with evidence, possession of marijuana. Possession of a Schedule 2, that's 24 SC 002377. Has a 2020 ag assault dismissed. It has a current FTA as well, so we're gonna be sitting for a minute on that. That's all.
All right.
Judge,
All
this
right,
incident took place yesterday at the Chevron located at 970 Spring Street. Upon arrival, they met with the victims, the manager, Mr. Akbar Andani, 2 clerks, Mr. Abe Yonas and Mr. Tefera Mashisha, who advised that essentially the defendant was outside begging. They asked him to leave. He came in the gas station, threw a fit, started throwing merchandise everywhere. The victims tried to stop him and he basically punched all of them in the face. The manager and the clerk had visible injuries. Mr. Mashisha did not. We have been in touch with one of the victims, the manager. He states that basically what I just said, that the guy was standing outside begging. They asked him to leave and he went crazy. He obviously wants no contact. He wants the defendant to stay away from the property. Pre-trial, did you say, what was the disposition of the ag assault from 2020?
That's dismissed is what I got.
Okay. Your Honor, initially I was going to request this thing, a surety bond on this, but it looks like all of his history is nonviolent. So the state will ask for a signature bond through pre-trial. No further contact with the victims, stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Akbar Andani, Abe Yonas, and Tefera Mashisha, if any of those individuals are on the line and wish to speak, please turn on your camera.
I don't think we have any outside people left. I think these are all inside. Correct,
Yeah.
Mr. Jordan? There's no outside people. Okay. Go ahead, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection to the state's recommendation.
Okay. I will give him a signature bond. I'm going to do it through the jail. And let's see, $5,000 signature bond, 2,000 on each battery, 1,000 on the simple battery, for a total of 5,000. And 5,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from the Chevron on Spring Street and no further contact with the victims in that case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. The next one is 5. 24 CR 004035Y, Tracy Satterwhite, charged with 1 count of reckless conduct. Pretrial.
14. 2015 probation, 2014 FTA.
Okay. State.
Judge, this incident took place on the 19th. Officers were dispatched to a person shot at 1033 Hollywood Drive, Northwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the victim, Mario Keene, who was shot in the left bicep. The officers then made contact with the defendant, who admitted to shooting Mr. Keene in the bicep. She was trying to shoot herself in the face with an AK-47. The victim is her boyfriend. He ran into the room to stop her, and they fought over the weapon, and he ended up getting shot. Another witness was there and corroborated that. Our office obviously hasn't been in touch with him, Judge. I believe he's still in the hospital. The defendant does have a prior arrest for reckless conduct. She's also got a prior conviction for two counts of battery family violence, another arrest for battery family violence. This is obviously an extremely dangerous situation where someone was very seriously injured. The state's requesting a $15,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. MHET, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. And if we could sound for Mario Keene.
All right, Mario Keene's not on. All right. I will order $5,000 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Turn in any weapons. She has them. Stay away from 1033 Hollywood Drive. And no further contact with the victim in that case. And that's probably it. Anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay. And let's see, the last one is position 10. I think, no.
10.
What is 10? Okay. DeAndre Weaver, 24 CR 004029G, charged with 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of criminal trespass.
12
Retrial.
total. 12 total. 2023 probation, 2019 FTA, 2019 battery dismissed, wanted out of Cobb County for ag assault, and wanted out of Clayton County as well. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, this offense was on June 20th, 2024. Officer D. Nugent responded to 2013 Lewis Road, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, in reference to a domestic disturbance. Ashley Savoy advised that she was physically attacked by her fiance and the father of her 2 children, Mr. DeAndre Weaver. She stated that she and the defendant got into an argument when he pushed her and began beating her in the face with a closed fist. She stated that he would walk away and then come back and continue to beat her. She indicated that this occurred for about an hour. She also indicated that he stood at the front door and blocked her from leaving. He threw her iPhone and broke it. She stated that at some point she was able to sneak out of the back of the house and went to the corner store to call the police. The defendant came to the corner store and threatened her by saying that he would break her face if she didn't get back in the car. At that point, she did get back in the car and went back to the house. She indicated that the beating continued once she arrived back at the house. The state at this point did add an additional count of battery, family violence, as well as the criminal trespass for the damage. We are certainly looking into this case to see what else can be done with it. At this point, it has not been transferred to the district attorney's office, but it certainly is a consideration. Based on the history of the defendant, the state would ask for a $10,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ashley Savoy, stay away from 2013 Lewis Road, Atlanta, Georgia, no drugs, alcohol or weapons while on bond.
All right. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. I have listened to pretrial described my client's history, and I did not hear any convictions, or certainly no convictions for violence. So he is assumed innocent in all of the outstanding arrests that he may have or the holds. I would ask the court to give my client a signature bond since he has holds. I did hear 2 holds. He obviously is not going to get out of jail at this time because he would have to go to these other jurisdictions in which he has holds to deal with whatever the issues may be outstanding there. He is 38 years old. He tells me that he and the alleged victim have been in a relationship for the past 13 years. They do share 2 minor children, one of whom is 10 years old and the other 6 years old. He also tells me that this is his home and the alleged victim does not live there. She was just visiting. So I would ask the court not to put a stay away in place because this is his home. So if she doesn't live there, there is absolutely no reason for there to be a stay away from this location.
Your Honor,
And
the
nothing
state.
further.
I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod. I wanted to address that last issue before the court's ruling. Go ahead.
Nothing further. Go ahead, Ms. Poe.
The state had an opportunity to watch the body-worn camera in this case, and in that footage, the defendant indicates that he did not live there. He stayed with his mother. He actually denied living with the victim at that location. So I'm surprised to hear that he is indicating that it is his location now. But the victim does stay there, and I would ask for a stay away.
No, these are
Okay.
I have not seen that video, Your Honor, and I'm going by what my client told me.
I understand. That's why I wanted to clear that up.
Well, I will order a $4,500 signature bond through the jail to be released to one of the holds. So that'll be 2,000 on each of the batteries and 500 on the trespass. So that'll be 4,500 SOB jail to be released to the hold. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And stay away from the 2013 Lewis Road and no further contact with Ashley Savoy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Does that conclude us all, Mr. Jordan?
Judge, there were 2 cases that are not on the calendar that should have been. We got an email from the clerk about, 11:30, maybe 12, asking us to refile 2 cases because they were linked, and we did that, and I can see that they've been filed.
They both posted bond.
Oh, okay, great.
Great. No add-on. I was gonna say, I didn't see an add-on. But sometimes they come out while we're doing it. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. You ready to reconcile? I don't get Mr. Jordan very often, so I always like having him.
Okay, so position 1 was a $3,500 sign-on bond jail. We set further notice. Position 2 made bond. Position 3 was a $4,000 cash bond. 2,500 for count 1, 1,000 for count 2, and 500 for count 3. Reset SAP. Position 4 was a $5,000 sign-on bond jail, 2,000 for counts 1 and 2, and 1,000 for count 3. Position 5 was a $5,000 surety, reset SAP. Position 6 was a $5,000 surety, 2,500 per charge, reset SAP. Position 7 was a $1,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 8 was a $1,500 surety, reset SAP. Position 9 was a $4,000 sign-on bond pretrial level 2. $2,000 per charge. Position 10 was a $4,500 sign-on bond jail, $2,000 for counts 1 and 3, and $500 for count 2. Position 11 was a $2,500 sign-on bond jail.
For position 10, that signature bond was to the whole, correct?
Yes. You can
Oh,
certainly
yes,
say.
to the whole, yes.
Connolly, when y'all run the GCIC before you leave, it should pop up. Because the data that Agasalt won out of COB is April 24th, 2024. But it's on the GCIC though. Hope, you see the warrant too, right?
I see the warrant. I see
Okay, I'm
both
just
of them.
making sure. Okay.
Oh, no, I saw both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, she just put in the chat. Thanks. All right, anything else, anyone?
I do want to confirm that he does have a.
I know, because at first she wasn't seeing it, then she says, okay, thanks, but
I know they usually run the GCIC before they release them anyway. So.
And Mr. Jordan, you're positive that Michael Favors posted bond already?
Oh, yes, both of them did.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Howard sent me the email to let me know.
Okay.
I can look it up
Using a
again.
firearm, so I want to make sure
No,
before
they
we
did. I checked the jail
accidentally
screen,
open
but
it.
when I first looked, I just didn't look at the bond screen, but they both did.
okay, pre-trial is on you.
Well, he came behind me and checked, so.
Cool.
You here
All
tomorrow, right?
Yes, I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't I sound excited?
I'll be with you. I'm just as
You'll
excited.
be with me too. I know, right? Hopefully, Mr. Jordan, you keep those numbers down. Are you going to be with us tomorrow?
I'll be here tomorrow too.
Okay. Well, we're going to hope it's a
But I'll be
nice,
working from
quiet
home.
evening. And everybody stays in the house and keeps cool. Even
Hold
though
on
it's
for a
supposed to
minute.
be hot.
Hold on.
Okay.
Real quick.
All right.
I'm waiting on this to pop up.
I think he's double checking. Is it Daciano?
DeCiano or Deciano.
Or Deciano. I wasn't going to go there because I knew I was going to get it wrong. So I apologize. I was trying
Honestly,
to
I
make sure.
answer to anything. My husband's family, they all say it different. It's the weirdest thing. No,
Right.
his brothers both say it differently than he does. And I will literally answer to whoever pronounce it.
Try to get them right eventually.
I say DeCiano. Sometimes I say
Deciano.
Diano.
All right, I'm done. I was checking to see how many we had for tomorrow. So far, we got 4. Just so you know.
Okay, if it doesn't get any hotter tonight, maybe people will stay cool.
Yeah, good luck.
Let's hope.
Good luck.
Are we done, Mr. Howard?
Yes,
ma'am. Miss Grace, hey, Miss Grace, I didn't see you.
Look, I done already logged off.
Yes, good evening. Enjoy your weekend. Bye, you guys.
Bye. I didn't see her on there.